Hello everyone, I'm here to teach you the basics of HTML. So for my uh, advanced computer application class, here's your guide on how to start HTML from scratch, of course. So first step is to create a folder um, in your desktop or anywhere else where you want to create it. This time I'll be naming this, let's say, um, website. Yeah, so there we go. So here's my website folder. Inside this one, I'll be creating a folder and I'll name this img. So basically, all images will be stored inside this img folder. Now, I have prepared an image. This is called DP, as you can see here. So let me magnify. So, so there we go. I have a picture here. It's named DP. Now, what I want to do is I want to drag this inside the img folder, since this is an image. So there we go, we can see it here. So now you can rename your picture, for example picture, that's okay, but this time I'll just be naming this me. Okay, to rename you can press F2, or you can right click and then just press rename, and it will allow you to rename. Basically, name it on whatever name you want. So this time I'll be calling it me. Now I'll be right clicking again, click to properties, okay, and then a window will pop out. So basically I'll just remember what is inside these closing and opening parentheses, which is in my case .jpg. So yours might be .png, .jpeg, just check it. So basically these means that the name of my picture is me.jpg. Okay, so yeah. Now what I want to do, okay, what I want to do is where's that? Okay, let me close my magnifier. Now what I want to do is open my notepad. There we go. Now to start with HTML, you need to type in DICT HTML, which basically means we're using HTML5. Open HTML and close HTML. Now inside HTML, you need to type in, let's say, opening head, and then of course a closing head. Opening style, where basically we must type all of our CSS, internal CSS, which later on you can make it as, you know, external CSS. So let's open the body right here and then close it also. So basically my technique here is doc type, HTML, head, style, body. Now inside the head I can actually initiate my title. I'll name this title my own website. Okay, now to the body, I'll be creating a div and closing it also. So let me somehow maximize this one. I'm closing it just inside the body. So basically body is where all objects that can be shown in your website, we're coding it inside the body, remember that. So div is an invisible box or divider, okay, which basically will make it visible. From invisible, we'll be making it as visible. So to do that, we'll be having a class, div class equals, then basically inside the class, remember this, you can name it on whatever name you want. So for example, this is my box, that's okay, you can name it ASD, okay, that's okay. Name it whatever name you want. So in my case, I'll just be typing box. Okay. Now, to call a class, I must initiate dot, since this is a class. Then I'll call whatever name I put here. So basically that's box, opening curly brace, and then closing curly brace. Make sure it's inside the style tag. Take note, we are making our CSS now. So to make this visible, I'll type in width, let's say 400px. Okay, and I'll be saving this one. So to save, Control S. Okay, now let me magnify this. Now what I want to do is go to my desktop. Remember a while ago we have created website folder. So inside the website folder we have created IMG, in which all images are stored. Since now we are making an HTML file, we will not be entering that IMG folder. So basically we're just inside the website folder. Now what I want to do is save as type, must be all files. Okay, and then the file name must be let's say my.html. Basically my, you can replace it with whatever name you want. So for example, like that, just make sure you remember it later on. So in my case, my web.html. Okay, save. Let me close my magnifier. Okay, there we go. So to run this one, let's go to my desktop again. Click on the website folder. Okay, inside the website folder we can actually let me close this one. Okay, we can actually see the my web. What we want to do is right click, open with. If you have Firefox, you can use it, Google Chrome, which is okay. I'll be choosing Google Chrome. Okay, so see, divs are invisible. Okay, there's nothing here, but take note, in our code we have established a width. Okay, now let's establish a height also. Let's say our height relies on 600 pixels px. I'll reload, save it, I'll reload, see what happens. Nothing happens, but I'm telling you there is something there. It's just invisible. Now here's the power of CSS. We can make an invisible visible. So to do this, we can set a border. How thick this will be, I think 1px will do. This must be solid so that it's not dotted. You have option, you can change this to dotted if you want, something like that. But this time I'll just be typing it solid. Okay, solid, and define a color. So for example, I'll just name it black for now. You can change it to whatever color you want. So see what will happen. See, there's this line. Now let's somehow make the invisible visible. Okay, that's the power. Now our goal is to create an ID. So a while ago we have created a folder. Inside that folder we have created IMG, right? IMG, and then me.jpg. So let me check that again. Properties.jpg. Okay, so what I want to do inside the div, okay, inside the div in the body class, I'll just be typing img src equals what's the name of the folder that we made. It's img, this one. Where's that? This one, the folder that we made, website img. That's the thing that you'll type in here. Slash, what's the name of your folder, or what's the name of your picture? Sorry, what's the name of your picture? It's me.jpg. So let me check that again. Me.jpg. Now, greater than sign. Save this and let's see what will happen here. So there we go. Now, as you can see, this picture of me, of course, overrides the whole division. Okay, it's somehow bigger than its division. Okay, bigger than this one. So what I want to do is, I want to create a class for this. I can basically name it on whatever name I want. So let's say my pic. Okay, now inside the style, okay, right after this closing curly brace, I'll be typing dot my pic, this one. My pic is this one, right? So what I want to do is open curly brace and closing curly brace, and in between I can actually set the width. Let me set this to 200 no, I think 150px, and height 150px also. Okay, now what I want to do is save this one and reload this. See, now for example, for an instance, I want to move this picture a bit to the right, just a bit to the right. Okay, so I can actually type in, before you move something else, you'll be typing in position, let's say relative. Okay, you'll be typing this always. Now where do you want it to go? Just like in my case, I want to move it a bit to the right. You can actually perform this in two ways. The first way is type in right where you want it to go, and then negative. Okay, negative value, let's say 50px. Let's see what will happen. Save this one. Okay, reload. See, it moves a bit to the right. Okay, one thing. The second thing, okay, delete that left, and it's a positive value, meaning we are adding. Okay. So yeah, we are adding. Let's go back to the default. Now, the first one is right, negative value. The second one is left. Okay, so we somehow want to put space on its left side so that it will push our image to the right. So left, and then positive value, let's say 50px. I think this will do the same. It does the same. Okay, now for example, you want it to go to the bottom. Okay, you need to type this once type this once in a single style, in a single class. That's already fine. You can actually move it anywhere you want. So bottom, let's say negative, let's say 50 again. So what this does is it deducts space under, so that this picture pushes itself under. Okay, so reload. See, it pushes itself under. Now I don't actually want to do that. Okay, but you can do that on any object you want. Okay, now what I want to do is inside this body I can actually just center everything. So center before the div, and after the div I can actually close my center. Okay, so it looks like this. So I'll be saving this. See, if when we run something, there we go, it actually moves everything in the center, including the picture. Now for example, still inside the div, just after the img, you want to put a name. So for example, I'll be using h3, my name Brian. Okay, and then closing h3. Now I can actually put class here, class let's say my name. You can name it on whatever name you want. So my name. So if I'll be running this, see, Brian appears. Now for example, I want to change the size of the font of Brian. So to do that, just after the closing curly brace, I'll be calling the name or the class, which is my name. So dot my name. Okay, my name. Okay, dot my name, opening curly brace, and then closing curly brace, and I can actually modify font size to px. Let's say want this to be 50. No. I want this to be let's say 30px. Okay, so save, run. See, it becomes bigger. So you can adjust this. So for example 50, which basically makes it bigger. See, you can actually, I'll make this stay to 15. Okay, there we go. Now I can actually change the color. Okay, for example, I want to change the color of Brian to, let's say, red, so that it's noticeable. Okay, so there we go, it turns red. Okay, but I do not want to do that. I think, yeah, I'm satisfied with just the font size. Now you know what, let's make this 20. Oh, there we go. Now just after the h3 class, I can actually create an hr. Okay, which means it's a line. So see this line. Okay, Now I can actually put class inside this HR. If there's an HR, there's no closing tag. Okay, there's no such thing like this. Okay, no such thing like this. Okay, no such thing like that. Now HR class, I can actually line 1. Okay, so inside the style again, I can actually call that line 1, opening curly brace, closing curly brace, and I can actually declare position relative if I want to move it somewhere else. For example, I want to move this line somewhere below. Okay, so I'll be typing in bottom negative value. So let's say negative 50px. You can play with numbers later on. Okay, so you see it makes it, a bit down. Now I can actually, right after this one, I can actually let's just make this 20. I think this will be fine. There we go. Now I can actually insert my department, so H2. Okay, so I'll be typing in School of Business and Computer Studies. Okay, studies. School of Business and Computer Studies. Now I can actually put class equals depth. Okay, you can name this basically in whatever name you want. So after line 1, I'll be typing in dot depth. Okay, and then closing curly brace, and then perform what you want to do with that specific. So let me first run that. So for example, I want to change the background color of School of Business and Computer Studies, in which row it lies. So what I want to do is I can declare background color. Let's just make it gray. Okay, let's just make it gray. So if I'll be running this, see, the background color changes to gray. Okay, so basically you can tweak everything, add something else inside. Okay, never forget the basic head in which the title relies in. So here's the title. Let me indent this one. The style, okay, and the closing style, body, and then the closing body. Okay, and of course take note of the spelling. Okay, take note of the spelling. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something. God bless you all.